What is up, everybody? Welcome in to the Fantasy Tap. My name is Michael, and this is John. John, what's up?
What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys enjoyed the sleepers. Hope you guys are
Yes,
ready for the bus.
I felt like 10
Flame
minutes
us,
ago.
flame us in the comments if we say your guy is a bust, and let us know why we're wrong.
Yes, it's true. It's true. There's a couple guys in here that,
Put our
we might
necks on
get
the
some
line.
heat for. Yeah, we did. And that's the thing. Sometimes you got to do that. And we're okay with that. We're not always 100% right,
We're
but
never 100% wrong.
we're never 100% wrong. Well, okay. That's a
That's
great
fair.
intro. Anyways, guys, if you haven't joined us before and if you haven't heard yet, we are doing a listener league. All right. Winner of the listener league gets this beautiful, full-sized, autographed Kyler Murray helmet. It's a thing of beauty. Last year, we gave away a Tyreek Hill helmet to the winner. This year it is Kyler Murray, autographed, full size, baby. All you got to do to enter in to the raffle to get into this league is the following: subscribe to our YouTube, 1, and 2, DM us on Instagram or Twitter saying you subscribed. That's it. That's all you got to do. It's free. We don't charge. And we are giving away a bonus entry if you join our Discord, which that link will be in the description below. So subscribe to our YouTube, DM us, join Discord. That's 2 entries into the raffle for the Listener League. To win, winner of the Listener League takes his baby home. Raffle ends August 31st. So
yes, time is running out. There's less than a week left. So make sure you guys get your names into this raffle. This spot is going quickly. And make sure you guys get that second ticket in because that will give you double the opportunity to get your chance in the league.
John, you're good at math. Thank you.
It is 1 plus 1 is 2, but 1 times 1. It's only 1.
Oh, it's only 1.
It's weird.
Good thing we're doing the addition. So, but anyways, like we said, this is the busts episode. Actually, we said it at the end of the last episode that we're doing a bust episode. This is the bust episode, not the good kind of bust.
Beginning of the episode.
Oh, we did?
I did.
Oh, good. Well, yes, it is the bust episode, not the good kind of busts, not the Hall of Fame busts, not the booby busts, the bust busts.
The busty busts.
Not the busty bust. So, John, give him your first bust.
All right. First bust. It's Raheem the Dream or Raheem the Nightmare Mostert for most of you guys out there. Last season, he started off really, really hot. Had a running back 4 finish in week 1. Greatness all around. Quickly, that running back group became extremely hurt, extremely thin at some points, and Raheem Mostert only played in 8 of those games.
Yep.
I do really like him in that he's just a slightly older guy who's never really seen any elite level production. He's going currently at running back 27, and he's still working off competition. They did go and spend a high draft pick on Trey Sermon, who's a very, very talented running back.
Ohio,
to throw him back into the mix is just saying that they don't trust this guy to be able to carry a full workload. Now, the 49ers get this vibe of being a run-first football team, but realistically, they throw the ball 58% of the time. They're only running at 42%. And now we're coming into a season where we've got Brandon Ayuk, who's coming into year 2, looked great in year 1. George Kittle, a dominant monster in all sorts of the tight end game. And then Deebo Samuel's another very, very talented receiver. So if they continue to stick to that pass-first offense and they're not giving a lot of opportunity to that committee backfield that they commit heavily to, there's not going to be enough opportunity for Raheem Mostert to really pop off. He ranked 37th on breakout runs last year and 31st on breakout run potentials, meaning runs that went for more than 20 yards. You're not getting it from him. Don't expect him to have those huge games again this season. He'll pop off for 1 week, and you're going to end up having to chase that. I'm not going to be drafting him, and I think he's going to bust and hurt a lot of people's rosters.
He's like the Tyler Lockett of running backs.
Talented. They have talent. They're
Very.
good. But fantasy-wise,
No, I agree with you. Honestly, if I want any of that backfield, it's Trey Sermon. And yes, I understand I'm paying up a little bit for it, but I like Trey Sermon, younger guy, and I think Raheem has definitely had some injury worries. So he will give you a couple of nice games, but outside of that, not much. So I agree. I'll continue with the running back train. Chase Edmonds going running back 26, ADP of 63.8. All right. Everybody freaked out when Kenyon Drake was gone. He went over to Las Vegas and it was the Chase Edmonds show. Well, then the Cardinals, we pretty much knew that was going to happen, signed James Conner. And that's going to be a thorn in Chase Edmonds' side all year long. And to be honest, I'm thinking even if they give the quote unquote start to Chase Edmonds, I think by week 4, James Conner is head and shoulders above Chase Edmonds. He's going to get the majority of the work in this running back room. And one thing about last year is Chase Edmonds had 4 receiving touchdowns, and that really boosted him up the running back ranks. He finished running back 28 last year. I don't see that happening again. Okay. You've got Rondale Moore, who's a very competent receiver who can do a lot of different things. You've got James Conner, who can also catch the ball. I don't see Chase Edmonds repeating 4 receiving touchdowns, and he only had 1 rushing touchdown last year, but he's not going to get the goal line work. That's clearly James Conner. No. He is by far the goal line back. So Chase Edmonds at running back 26, I'm sorry, you're not finishing there. You're not going to finish close to what you finished last year. If I had to guess, he's going to finish closer to running back 36, maybe even below that, depending on really how much James Conner takes over, because I do think he will. So Chase Edmonds, you're in for a bust.
I kind of like him a little bit, to be honest. I think that he's someone that's going to be getting enough of a workload that's going to make him usable. You might be grabbing him a little bit higher than where he finishes, but I do think that he gets some sort of consistency. I do think he's going to end up carrying the ball on the first and second downs, and then any third down that's within the 3-yard line of getting it first, especially with Kyler Murray talking about not running the ball as much as he has been. I think there's a world for him there, but I also do agree with you on that. James Conner more than likely is going to be taking over that role. And being that he is the much better running back out of the two of them. So I got you. Not spending my pick on him, but I have hope. I might be rostering him, so that might be why, but hey. So my next guy on the list is actually going to be Mark Andrews. And I've talked about it before. I think Mark Andrews is a good tight end. I think that he's got a lot of hype around him after his 2019 finish with those 10 touchdowns on a quarterback that led the league with 36 that year. Last year finished as tight end 4. Finished, pretty far up there. He looked great. He had 7 touchdowns, had 89 targets. He was getting the ball a lot. But the Baltimore Ravens still had no receiving core last season. Last year, he was the second highest targeted player. Marquise Brown targeted 100 times last year. For the quarterback that doesn't throw more than 25 times in a game. They actually haven't thrown they've been averaging 25 passing attempts per game since Lamar Jackson has actually taken over in there. Going out and signing Sammy Watkins this year, going and drafting Rashad Bateman, who's going to be an absolute monster, as well as Tylan Wallace even later in the draft. They're not going to be needing to throw it to Mark Andrews as much. I do think that J.K. Dobbins is someone who's going to be taking a much stronger role, especially in that red zone, and not making Mark Andrews the go-to guy there. And he's probably someone that's going to find himself surviving only on touchdown-dependent weeks, which is where you get your tight end 12, your tight end 11, your tight end 10 even. So being that in some leagues you're grabbing them at tight end 5, tight end 4, and those like 5th to 7th rounds, you could be getting a lot more value and then still getting more upside later. And I think you'll find out later.
Yeah, no, in my opinion, I'm not going to say he's going to bust, but I am going to say I won't have any shares of Mark Andrews this year. Don't like him at all. I would much rather have TJ Hawkinson, who's going right behind him at tight end 6. or Kyle Pitts right in front of him. So,
I'd agree on both those.
thank you. My next guy, and this is kind of a hot topic. It's funny because his teammate was on my sleepers list, and now he has made his way to my bust list, and that is Jamar Chase, wide receiver 26, ADP of 69.
Wow.
Listen, I don't care
about to just bury this guy, right?
I don't care about the 3 drops. I really don't. I mean, it's not a big deal to me. Everybody's freaking out about that. Blah, blah, blah. He's got 3 drops. He's not looking good in camp. This, that, the third. That's really not the issue. My biggest issue, to be honest, is his off the field stuff so far. It's not been the best. His baby mom has posted on Instagram and whatever else is happening with that situation. We're not a legal podcast or anything like that, or an off-field podcast, but that messes with people's heads. So I don't think his head is in the game per se. Obviously his training camp performance and stuff like that hasn't helped. And you've got to remember, he's coming off a year of not playing organized football.
Might have played a couple backyard games.
Caprende. He has not played an organized game of football in a year, and he's gonna be rusty. I'm not saying he's not a bust first round pick. He's not a bust wide receiver, but he's a bust fantasy pick because you're grabbing him at wide receiver 26. That's crazy. That's nuts. He's not even gonna finish inside the top 40. All right, people.
Ooh. Hot take.
They've got plenty of weapons around there. Their offensive line is boo-boo. Joe Mixon's coming back. Jamar Chase.
Hey.
He's 40 or worse. There you go. That's where he's finishing.
All right. Man, I don't know if I give him that low, but hey, I'm with you there. I actually like Tyler Boyd a lot better, and I'm not spending anything on Jamar Chase. I have 0 shares of Jamar Chase throughout my dynasty leagues, through everything. Not worth the pick. He's just projected to be too great. And like you're saying, after a year not being there, do not draft. Make that
I'm not saying in dynasty. I'm not saying in dynasty because
dynasty is different. Obviously, he's talented. We've seen it. But redraft this year. No, thank you.
Yeah.
My next guy though, we've got Darrell Henderson.
Ooh.
Not only due to the Sony Michel news, but partly due to it. We're going to say that. Currently, he's being drafted at running back 22. This may be falling a little bit, but at this point, I think that you're just going to be wanting to stay away from him completely. I do think that we've already seen the fact that he's coming into camp with a day-to-day issue of a banged up thumb. Part of the reason they went out and signed Sony Michel. Xavier Jones, off the team. Jake Funk, not looking amazing. But with Sony Michel there, we're looking at someone who's going to be eating into that work share. He's only 26 years old. He's not very, very old. He's not an excessively aged up running back that's been floating around the league. He actually hasn't even been that much used being a part of the New England running back group. He's only seeing a handful of shares. He's seeing a timeshare there anyways. Darrell Henderson's going to be the number 1 running back, probably starting there week 1 if he is healthy, but it's going to be a committee like we saw last season with a 3-headed backfield, if not a 2-headed backfield, this year being that Darrell Henderson and Sony Michel work. And then with Darrell Henderson being someone that played a majority of last season, played each game, but was banged up and injured throughout the weeks, playing each week with an injury, slowing him down. He's not going to be someone that you're going to be wanting to spend the draft capital on. He does average 4.5 yards per carry, but he's also ranked 30th in attempts while still playing 15 games last season. So played through a majority of the season, 30th most attempts throughout the league. Not a lot. Not the guy you're going to be wanting to draft early in the draft. And I actually think I like Sony Michel a little bit better than Henderson.
Yeah, no, first off, Xavier Jones is still on the team, so that does it still adds some, competition there to Darrell Henderson. Yeah. But anyways, we were talking about it I was talking about it earlier with some buddies on who I'd be drafting. When am I going to draft Darrell Henderson? Who's going to be taking over? Blah, 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 blah.
Sorry, it was Raymond Calais who I was thinking of.
Yes, Calais
picked up.
So I said it simply like this. I do want a part of this backfield, but I don't want whoever is ranked highest when I draft. So if whoever I can get later, that's who I'll take. But yeah, right. So right now, Darrell Henderson is not the guy.
No.
So, all right, let's get into it. First tight end, Robert Tonyan, tight end 10, ADP of 100.3. He's going to be a bust. He's not going to finish in the top 12. I know he's got one of the best, the reigning MVP on his team. But guys, he had an 18% touchdown ratio. Let me put that into perspective for you. Okay? Adam Thielen, who had 14 touchdowns, massive year. He had 111 targets. He only had a 12% touchdown ratio. That's crazy. So, I mean, 10, what? That blows my mind. That blows my mind that somebody can have, that big of 11 touchdowns on 59 targets. Crazy. So not only the irrepeatable, if that's a word, touchdown percentage, but also they added Randall Cobb. They drafted Amari Rodgers. Marquez Valdes-Scantling is still on the team. Same with Equinemi St. Brown, Alan Lazard, all those guys still on the team. So I just don't see Robert Tonyan, giving you a return on investment as that tight end 10. So he's not going to catch 11 touchdowns again. I'm telling you, I'd say 6.
For him to catch 11 touchdowns again, Aaron Rodgers is going to have to throw another 45 touchdowns. He's going to have to lead the league again, and that's incredible. And like you're saying, he is so touchdown dependent. It's not only how many touchdowns he's gotten off of those limited amount of targets, it's the amount of points those touchdowns have given him. 41% of his fantasy points last year came from just touchdowns, not including his targets, not including his yards, because he really doesn't have anything to back those up.
No.
So
586 yards.
Absolutely someone I'm not going to be touching this year. And I think that people that are grabbing him, I'm looking at the rest of their team. I'm trying to find, okay, well, who can I sell you? Who did I pick up on at a bad pick? And I can be like, hey, we sell you this guy and get someone better. If you're drafting Robert Tonyan right now, you're obviously not keeping up with
the times
community. Yeah. Keeping up with the times. All right. So Mike, this next guy, I like I said, not your best time, but Kenny Golladay, wide receiver 25, your guy of the year last year. I don't think I'll ever let you live that down.
No, I'm never going to let myself live it down.
He did show incredible promise in 2019, especially with Matt Stafford coming off of one of the best seasons a quarterback can start with, projected for or en route for a 5,000-yard and 40 touchdown year. Most of that coming off the back of Kenny Golladay. Now, Golladay is going to be joining the New York Giants, which is an absolutely abysmal passing football team. I'm just going to say it flat out. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They're not very good. Daniel Jones is not the quarterback that he could be, and he doesn't even throw the ball over 300 times a season. He's not someone that puts out a lot of volume. He's not someone that even gets a lot of yards. He's yet to crack 200 completions and 3,000 yards in a year. Last year, I'll give it to him, 3,085. Really broke the ceiling there. Leads the league in turnovers. Not someone that's going to be able to produce multiple high-end fantasy wide receivers, let alone in a team that's already got Kenny Golladay, drafted Kadarius Toney, Saquon Barkley, Evan Ingram, Kyle Rudolph. Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton. We could go all day. There's so many receivers there. Galladay's not in the Lions anymore, where he is the one guy. It's Golladay and Marvin Jones. Great himself, just does better when Galladay's out. It's not going to be a situation where you're going to want to be picking up Kenny Golladay, currently wide receiver 25, and I would say that he finishes below Jamar Chase. Wow. I don't think Kenny Golladay is someone that can crack the top 40 this year, let alone as a wide receiver 3. Wow. Just terrible offense, terrible team. Not really interested in many pieces of them. And Galladay's far, outside of Saquon Barkley, the second most expensive piece. Just absolute bust.
Yeah. So,
I mean, every word of that.
Yeah, no, I know. I can tell. I can tell. All right. So I guess I'll jump into my next one. And it's kind of crazy. Not crazy, but it's Jalen Hurts, quarterback 10, ADP of 89.5. Now I know obviously his ADP has dropped, drastically. Not drastically, but quite a bit since non-best ball drafts have been taking place. And then, of course, he had that little stomach thing, and Devontae Smith was hurt and things like that. So a couple things dropped his ADP. But I'm still not taking him. He is not going to finish inside the top 15 quarterbacks. Here's why. Okay. I understand.
7.
I know. I understand he had a couple massive weeks, finishing week 14 as quarterback 11, week 15, quarterback 1, week 16, quarterback 12. And then he had that game against the Washington football team where he finished quarterback 20. Okay. He played in those orders. He played New Orleans, Arizona, Dallas, and Washington. Okay. His 2 best games were against 2 of the worst defenses in the league. Am I right? Arizona, Dallas, horrible defenses last year. His schedule this year is ridiculous. Okay. San Francisco, Kansas City, Tampa Bay, Denver, New Orleans, the Giants, not a pushover. Washington, the Giants again, Washington. I get he'll have his weeks, and I get he has a rushing upside, but I'm staying away from Jalen Hurts. I don't think he cracks the top 15. And to be honest, one other thing that bothers me with him is Nick Sirianni has yet to name his starting quarterback. And I understand we saw what Joe Flacco did in preseason week 2. Come on.
70-yard dump pass that took it to the house.
And to be honest, this sounds a little crazy, and I don't think there's a high percentage chances this happens. But if Hurts is playing bad enough, I think there's a possibility that Flacco does come in a couple games.
How about we talking? You think he's going to play bad enough for Joe Flacco to come in and pull him out? This young, hey,
this
anything can happen, man.
Anything can happen. And one more thing before we move on, the whole Deshaun Watson news. If his stuff gets cleared up over the course of the season, he's becoming a Philadelphia Eagle. Deshaun Watson won't even be on the Eagles.
Deshaun Watson, you mean?
Jalen Hurts. Yeah.
Hey, send Jalen over to Houston. Hope my man Brandon Cooks out.
Yeah.
We'll make it work.
But yeah, Jalen Hurts. I know it's risky. I'm risking it for the biscuit, but Jalen Hurts busting.
Yeah. Not much I can say about that. He's actually not someone I'm super hot on. As you know, I'm not going to recommend anyone not draft him personally, but I'm also get 0 shares of him, will not be touching him, will not put him on my rosters. But that's just because I don't believe in him. But like you're taking the shot on, he's got the upside to break the ceiling and be great. I saw the stat the other night that he's one of 9 quarterbacks to have 400 passing yards and 60 rushing yards in a game. He's done it twice, and he's only played 4 games. And so that was pretty crazy. But also, like you said,
small sample size.
It's small sample size, but he only took
very
that sample
bad
size to crack an extremely tough list. Yeah. So it's all right, because I'm actually going to be throwing out someone that a lot of people might feel just as strongly about. He was the golden boy coming into last year's draft, and that's going to be Joe Burrow. And I don't really like that I have him on this list.
I like it.
Especially because beginning of the offseason, looking at the numbers, I was like, wow, this passing volume is incredible. But yeah, the passing volume is incredible when 10% of your passes are thrown out of bounds because you're getting rushed by 6 guys because your offensive line can't stop anything. And then going for Jamar Chase, obviously an extremely talented receiver in his own right, but missing on Penei Sewell just kind of really reiterates the fact that they might not know what they're doing in Cincinnati. And it's not like their offensive line looks any better throughout the beginning part of this preseason. Joe Burrow himself has even come out and said that there's some struggles on the offense and that they've been getting dogged by their defense. One of the biggest problems I have for him coming into this year, even with this high volume that he was doing last year, is it's his division that he's a part of. Not only are you going up against Baltimore twice a year, every year, you're going to be going up against the Ravens twice a year, every year. And you're going to be going up against the Steelers twice a year. That's 6 of your games on the entire season that you're playing some of the toughest defenses
Cleveland
throughout
too.
the league.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore.
Yeah.
So that's 3 teams that very, very strongly touted and talented defenses that have great secondaries, great pass rush. I'm not expecting Joe Burrow to really blow up this year. He might have a game or two. The games where Jamar Chase has those games might be it. I think he's someone that's going to finish like a top 24 quarterback. He's going to be usable. He should be a good second quarterback in a super flex league or a 2 QB league, but I don't think there's any way in the world that you're going to be finding him breaking into a top 15 again this year. There's just not a chance that team's going to be efficient enough or have enough good volume to where that's going to happen, especially if Joe Mixon does come in and that run game can really move forward on the ground.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like that. I like that Joe Burrow's bust this year in fantasy wise. Yeah, I do like that. So, Easy there. Easy. Is that a bug?
Excited. No, I was clapping, but it slipped.
The
mic
slipped.
didn't go well.
All right. Well, my last bust of the night, Chris Godwin, wide receiver 14, ADP of 41.8. Yes, I know. I know you don't like this, and that's okay because I'm pretty sure you have his counterpart.
I
as
was
a
going
bust.
to.
I
do in my head. He didn't make the list. We talked about him pretty recently. I think we had the conversation not too long ago, so I didn't throw him on there. But hey, I can argue that all day. But let me hear the Chris Godwin take.
Mike Evans here. I'll just go real quick. Mike Evans and Gronk had 42% of the team's red zone target share. They're the go-to touchdown guys. Chris Godwin is not going to be making his money there. Okay, obviously. And with AB in the offense those last few weeks, Chris Godwin finished wide receiver 14 or better only 2 times, and he finished wide receiver 24 or better only 4 times. Okay, there's a lot of mouths to feed in that offense. With Antonio Brown, you still have Mike Evans, of course, Robert Gronkowski, Giovanni Bernard coming out of the backfield. He's going to be the pass catching back. OJ Howard is still on the team as well. You've got Tyler Johnson, who is an up and coming second year guy, and Scotty Miller even. So there's a lot of mouths to feed there. I think that in order for Chris Godwin to finish, close to where he needs to get to wide receiver 14 even is touchdowns, and he's not going to get that. And also I think his usage, his targets, his receptions, and his yards are going to be up and down throughout the entire year. I see him finishing as a wide receiver 3 this year. That's where I have him. Wide receiver 3, Chris Godwin. Book it.
All I'm gonna say is, man had a 58 caught a touchdown in 58% of his games. Mike Evans caught one in 83%, or I'm sorry, on average, 83% of the games. Chris Godwin only played 12 games. One of those left games a little bit earlier. Targeted more per games than Mike Evans. Gets the ball in more space, bigger plays. Don't like Mike Evans this year. Don't think Mike Evans is going to crack 10 touchdowns. Don't even think Mike Evans is going to crack 1,000 yards. I think Chris Godwin's safe. But hey, we're going hot.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. This isn't we're not here to help you win. It's pretty much what it comes down to. And stay away from Chris Godwin. even though John says no. Ugh, but all righty. Is that it?
That's it.
Boom. John, run over yours real quick. We'll run over mine, and then we will get out of here.
All right, guys. So my first bust on the list is going to be Raheem Mostert. Do not draft. Mark Andrews, only draft him if everyone else is on the same boat as you and just letting him slide and slide and slide. He'll have a role, just not one you're going to want to take. Darrell Henderson, do not draft. He is a bust. Kenny Golladay, one of the worst high-end receivers in the league, very hyped for not the right reasons. And then Joe Burrow, the golden child. He's not going to be smoking a cigar, and you're not going to be smoking a cigar in your championship team.
No. And then mine are Chase Edmonds, Jamar Chase, Robert Tonyan, Jalen Hurts, and Chris Godwin to end it off. That's a banger. But anyways, guys, don't forget to tune in to next episodes. That is our must-haves. Guys, we cannot leave the draft without. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to sign up, subscribe, sign up for the Listener League, and we love you.